Good morning, Susie Cobden. I was born an empath. Now, I didn't know it until several years ago, till I really started on my journey to self-discovery. I really thought that people disliked me. That was the energy I picked up. I felt uncomfortable when I was out, when I was around anybody, and I didn't realise then that I was actually picking up on what other people were feeling. But I did feel uncomfortable, and I did feel like I didn't fit in, and I did feel like nobody understood me and nobody liked me. And it was only, as I said, when I started discovering who I was, that I discovered that I was an empath. But it also explains why I grew up a pleaser. And I think most people who are pleasers are most likely empathic. An empath is very sensitive to the frequencies and the energies around us. We pick up on other people's feelings. And those feelings aren't directed at us. But as a child, I didn't know that. If someone was feeling upset or angry or sad for some reason, I thought it was against me. I thought that they were, feeling an aversion to me, when in actual fact it was just their stuff. But because I was so sensitive to energies, I couldn't stand to be amongst conflict. And therefore, I grew up a pleaser. If you don't like those energies, if you can feel them and you're uncomfortable around those energies, you do everything you can to avoid those energies. I was a pleaser right from the word go. I was shy from the time I was a toddler. I remember clinging onto my mum's leg, the back of her leg, saying, "I love you, mummy, I love you, mummy," whenever there was anybody around that I didn't know. And, looking back, I know that I was doing that because I was feeling uncomfortable. And I was feeling afraid because I was picking up on these frequencies. So, the pleaser as a child as well, I couldn't stand to have my brothers and sisters fighting. I couldn't bear them being in trouble with my mother. I didn't like having those uncomfortable feelings, coming from my mum or my father, although he was a bit of an absent dad for a lot of my childhood years. But, and at school, I was very much a loner. I had one or two friends. I was the teacher's pet, again, trying to avoid any sort of conflict. I took it into the workplace, I took it into my married life, and consequently, I lost myself. Now, anybody who's empathic is sensitive to energy. That's a given. And a lot of us, especially in our early years, will ignore it and we'll push it away and we'll hide ourselves away and we lose ourselves because we just really don't want to feel that conflict. And it's not until we start to become aware of who we are and what we're about and understand our feelings that we bring it out into the open. But because we are sensitive, we feel all those energies that perhaps a lot of people don't feel. We're sensitive to our own inner being. We're sensitive to the energies around us. We're sensitive to source, to all that is, to those other dimensions, to the other dimensional beings. And because of that, a lot of the people who are leading the way, in the awakening of humanity, are these people who are empathic, who are sensitive, who most of their life have been pleasers. And, instead of hiding away now, we're being encouraged to to really be upfront, to voice ourselves, to put ourselves in a position where we're no longer hiding, but we're leading the way. And I'm still sensitive, I'm empathic, but I now know why, and I know that I can choose which frequencies I allow in my field. I'm not a victim to these frequencies, they're a gift. I can choose to feel them. I can choose to turn them off. I can choose to keep them from my field. My focus and my personal frequency will only allow me to connect with those frequencies that are in, that same range that I'm in. So I'm not a victim, never have been, but I thought I was. And, really, especially the last month, especially the last week, my gosh, 1st of August today, and we're heading towards the Lions Gate, but there's been so much going on, with the retrogrades and the presence of Sirius, in the night sky, very close to us at the moment. And the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse coming up. And I don't know about you, but I've felt a shift just in the last few days. I really feel like we have been pushed and pushed and pushed to discover who we are, to awaken, to clean out everything that doesn't serve us, to release all those old belief patterns and the energies that we've been hanging on to, our cellular memory that hasn't been serving us, to actually step into our power. And, I have spoken a couple of times about this new business that I've started, that I'm a part of, and it's very much attraction marketing. And, pretty much all of the training is about personal development, about becoming who we are. But I realise that the reason that I am so attracted to this, apart from the obvious, it's delivering money straight into my bank account. Apart from the obvious, it's made me stand up and become a leader. It's really made me step up into who I really am in a big way. I've been a life coach for a long time, and I love what I'm doing, and I see fabulous results. Any of the people who I've worked with will vouch for that. And it gives me so much joy helping people to transform. But it's time for me to really step up and really be authentic and really, just go all in. And I'm going all in with life. Fear doesn't exist except in here. Fear only comes from thoughts. And I'm ready to be gone with it all. I'm ready to step through all of that and really live from the heart. This is who I truly am. My soul self, powerful, infinite creator self is looking through my eyes and talking to you all through this vehicle. And it's infinite, everlasting, can't die, can't be hurt. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And when we realise our power, we realise that we have the control, the ultimate control to create our life. Nothing is outside of our control. We get to write our story. So a fun thing for you to do today would be to write your story. Go 5 years into the future and write your story. Date it for 5 years in advance. 1st of August 2023. Oh my God. and write what your life is like on that day. And that will give you something to work towards. You know, writing something like that and then revisiting it. You know, I've written mine out and I read it every morning. That's how I start my day. Because that's the life that I want to focus towards. And I always put this and something better. But that gives me a starting place for my day, and it reminds me where I'm headed. And to live in the moment, live right now, make now the only moment that matters, and being happy. Choose joy, choose to be happy, because if you make now the happiest that you can possibly make it, the next moment's going to be even better. And each moment will keep building on the moment before. So have a wonderful day and step into your power. If you're an empath, if you're sensitive, if you've been a pleaser all your life, now it's time for your life. What do you want to do with your life? What was the dreams you had as a child? It's time to start living them. My love to you all. Bye for now.